something of interest.
Okay, we could fix a lift. Oh, camera angles. That would allow us to get to these goods that I should have been able to get to before. I don't know. I see no reason not to fix the lift.
The machine god grants the insight.
Let's take it down. Grab the goods that we missed down here.
This explorator is blessed with multifunctionality.
Yeah, this is connected down here where we've already been. Hey, Glado. Let's head on back up. Glado can run all the way back around because he's not using the elevator with us. More goods.
Operation successful.
Another medium armor, 30%. Where blocks an attack, all adjacent creatures must pass a toughness resistance test or suffer 1 stack of perplexed. 10% armor against ranged attacks. Okay.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Enormous gate is locked fast. Him, the ruler of the stars. Sure. It does not escape your notice that a few leftovers from the plates disappear into the servant's filthy apron. Ha! Tables are overflowing with rare and peculiar food. There is enough of it to easily feed dozens of hungry mouths, but the servants are unlikely to get even a morsel of this feast.
A new challenge for me.
Ancient Rosarius pieces. Okay. I just saw a blue necklace like Maeve's. Made me wonder if there's anything of interest there. Okay, that's to do with the Scorched. So that's where... yeah, the trial's happening. Yeah, this is their special stone that they're making statues from. Can I get to these goods before interacting with this? So we've got the Court Fool here. We've got something that Glado can interact with. And then Tadua the Scorched. Nope. We triggered something. I'll be telling my grandchildren of this day. You see a man with a cruel grimace on his face and hands, disfigured with burn marks. Behind him stands a ghastly-looking mechanism, adorned with polished skull of gigantic proportions. The eye sockets, their edges melted, gaze darkly at the crowd, with the promise of inevitable punishment. The man, clearly the executioner, bows his head. The very messengers of the sky have come to decide our fate. We are honored, your celestial highness. Who are you? I'm Tadua, the Scorched, the slaughterman of the 5th generation, and a humble disciple of the Iron Saint you see before you, your celestial highness. Master Tadua knows no mercy, and his hand is unfailing firm in the sacred cause of administering justice. Maeve is careful to keep her posture straight, but her frightened gaze is deliberately averted from both the executioner and the mechanism behind him. What is that structure? This instrument of punishment is a personification of the great Phesmophorius the Martyred, who accomplished the legendary feat of slaying 300 heretics. As is glorious tradition, all mutants who affront the Emperor's gaze and stain the face of Thisara must enter the Saint's iron embrace. Whenever justice is served, hundreds flock to the Phesmophorius, eager to witness the magnificent spectacle. You've just confessed that your semblance of justice serves not as a demonstration of lawful authority and deterrence to your subjects, but as entertainment. Solomon utters the last word with disgust, as if there could be no fouler profanity. Who's inside right now? Another heretic who violated the holy laws of Thessara, and since his body is already turning to ash, such will be the fate of his name as well, to be scattered to the winds, that it may never again defile the lips of any who live upon our sacred world. Never again defile the lips. Maeve looks ready to faint. She seems both terrified and nauseated by the sacred rite that has drawn so many onlookers. The laws of the Imperium punishes those who deserve it. Was that the last of the accused for the day? I hope that concludes the incendiary atrocities for today. I missed such a glorious display. Do you have anyone else left to burn, perchance? The law of the Imperium punishes those who deserve it. Was that the last of the accused for the day? And that was what one of the first bodies set to stoke the Phasmophorius. It is going to get a lot busier now. As if to confirm the man's words, the fire-breathing saint expels a puff of acrid smoke. While the guilty are being reduced to ashes, let us meet the next participants in our performance. Okay, very mutant. You can see by their huge arms. Two people, or something resembling people, are pushed onto the stage. They are mutants, hideous parodies of humanity forever tainted by the imperfections of the flesh. One of them is dressed in stained yet expensive clothes. The other wears the tattered uniform of the local guards. Do they have ways of turning people into mutants? Because you wouldn't expect someone with that horrible of a mutation to grow up to adult age and still be dressed in expensive clothes. Mutants are outcast. So the idea that someone was raised in a noble or highborn family long enough to grow to adult age while having a massive mutation seems very unlikely. Same with a local guard. Your Celestial Highness, behold two loathsome heretics who blemish the very face of Thessara with their existence. Padua chuckles, but his sneer is completely devoid of mirth. The degree of their guilt may vary, but they both deserve to enter the blazing bowels of the Phasmophorius for the worst of their transgressions, distorting the sacred face of humanity. But since fate has graced us with such lofty visitors, I eagerly cede the right to punish these miscreants to you, your Celestial Highness. Contrary to his honeyed words, the executioner's voice betrays his poorly concealed displeasure. Cassia purses her lips when she notices the onlookers staring at her hands, eyes, and neck. Many point their fingers shamelessly in her direction, others spit at their feet in disgust. Her chin raised high, the Lady Navigator adjusts her forehead adornment with her clawed hands. She squares her shoulders, lets out a breath, and glares at the crowd with condescension. Condensation. Condescension. What do you mean by the degree of their guilt may vary? What exactly are these heretics guilty of? Or make an impatient gesture. Get on with the execution, Tadua. My time is precious. What do you mean by the degree of their guilt may vary? Tadua fixes you with a fanatical stare. One of them, despite being one of the highest lords of Thessara, spat on our world's customs by refusing to alter his destiny. The other did change his fate, even though he was just a lowborn wallowing in the mud. What in the Lex's name did I just hear? Solomon raises his voice slightly, indicating that the usually impassive arbitrator is profoundly indignant. I normally have no trouble passing judgment, but in this case, I don't even know where to start. Yeah, so one of them is guilty of not changing his fate, whatever that means. And the other did change his fate, even though he was a lowborn wallowing in the mud. And that makes both of them guilty? Or what was the opulently dressed mutant's crime? Ah, a rotten stain upon the noble families. He was hiding in his manner to conceal his deformities, but had trouble keeping his mouth shut, proliferating filth in tracts that he later sent out with his servants. He declared the choice of one's own fate to be slavery, cast aspersions on the very traditions of this world, was insolent, swore profanely, condemned those who had chosen a new destiny. Luckily, he has no heirs, and today this cursed bloodline shall be put to rest once and for all. So he lived alone and never left, is the claim. That's how he managed to live to that age as a mutant. Still not buying it. The richly garbed mutant moaned something. You notice stitches on his disfigured face. The zealous servants were evidently in a hurry to silence the condemned man early and sewed his twisted mouth shut. What did the mutant in a guard's uniform do? A thief, a brigand, and a murderer. There is no way to list all the crimes lying upon this freak's conscience. However, his willingness to change his destiny against all odds merits this mutant at least some honor. Despite his feeble-mindedness and simplicity, he had enough sense to obscure his countenance with hoods and helmets until he made his way from beggar to guard. It was not long before his excessive passion for fighting and stabbing gave him away. The mutant utters a foul curse under his breath, then immediately gives you a frightened look and falls silent. The mere sight of the celestial lord seems to instill a reverent awe in the common denizens of Thessar. You praise the low-born mutant despite the vicious acts he has committed? They are both mutants and have thereby violated his law. Yet when one finds a spark of nobility in an abject commoner, one cannot help but feel a grain of respect for them. This heretic may be of low birth, but he does not flout the values of Thessar the way the nobleman does, and thus honors our traditions and his will. Born into the rabble, he applied all those abilities and skills, defied the restraints placed upon him, and crushed those who stood in his path, all in order to forge a new destiny for himself. Freedom to change destiny? Solomon repeats slowly, with an undertone of utter disbelief at what he is hearing. Even you, a degenerate, should know that everyone has their place in the God Emperor's plan from birth, and that any attempt to change that is a violation of his will. What do you say, Maeve? Which of these two deserves to die? Maeve's gaze darts fearfully around, while visibly avoiding the doomed mutants on the platform. I am of too low a birth to take on the burden of being a judge, my celestial lord. I'm ready to announce my decision, apparently. The word of a distinguished guest is law. We are all trembling with anticipation. Maeve seems to have reined in the emotions that were overtaking her, and she casts a timid glance at you as if she awaits your verdict. Execute this mockery of a nobleman, the other mutant is pardoned. The mutant commoner must be sent to the furnace. The nobleman is to be set free. Let them both burn, let them both go. Yeah. So the rich man has done nothing besides being a mutant and not wanting to follow their traditions of changing his fate. But if their goal is to always just ascend up, at least it sounds like, if he's already a noble, what is his fate supposed to change to? I don't know. But the mutant commoner who was a murderer, how did he phrase it? Thief, brigand, and murderer, no way to list all the crimes laying at the freak's conscience. I'm willing to say that deserves death, assuming we're being told the truth. The mutant commoner must be sent to the furnace. The nobleman is to be set free. The furnace? The furnace? All those scandalous misdeeds in one heretic will make, oh, such lovely sparks. Behold the starfall. The full slimy joke is followed by laughter as the crowd anticipates the coming spectacle. Zhua gives you a dark look, as if reluctantly, and through gritted teeth he forces out the words, His Celestial Highness has spoken. May the flames of Saint Phesmophorius purify you, heretic. Zhua glares at the surviving mutant with loathing. Get out and praise His Celestial Highness for granting you a life you do not deserve. The crowd around you starts jeering, and the mutant scurries away in haste. I would like to unstitch his mouth to find out what he was trying to say. But I think that's not going to happen. So let's see what's going on with this. Cassia peers into the black pits of the Phasmophorius' eyes, and with a strange expression on her face, whispers softly, "When you give an order like that, do not look away. Keep watching until the end that you remember the price that was paid, so that you remember the weight of your words." Juliet's voice is weak, but your elucidator still picks up her quiet plea. "Isha, give me the strength to look without seeing, to hear without heeding, the triumph of spiritual darkness." Yeah, I'm thinking that burning anyone is generally not going to be considered good by anyone in the party. There's something more going on here. This isn't just a normal execution for crimes of being a murderer and a brigand. And now, my favorite word. Next! A pale, bony creature, barely able to move its legs, enters the stage. In place of a mask, it turns a horrific medley of features towards the world. This ugliness, however, is nothing like that of the previous convicts. The thin, squeamishly twisted mouth is fused to the cheekbones. Malicious eyes peer into the crowd from under hideous folds of skin. The face of this heretic appears to have melted and congealed. What happened to his face? Is he another mutant? Assyrian fever. You need not worry, your celestial highness. It is not contagious. What is this heretic guilty of? The executioner does not answer right away, but makes you wait for a moment. His crime is more grievous than any this scaffold has ever seen. He was granted a new destiny, but chose to defy it. He turned away the greatest gift that can be offered to the loyal sons and daughters of Thessara. The wretched man's gaze drifts over the crowd until his piercing eyes meet yours. His head twitches, his face contorts in a monstrous grimace. Shut up, before it gets in!" He whispers in a sudden frenzy. "I won't give up, I won't give up, I won't!" "Oh, no. We didn't come here for you to stay quiet. Squeal now and squeal louder." The crowd takes up the fool's outburst and begins demanding more screams. Where's that blasted court fool? You glance at the crowd and suddenly see the fool, prancing and flitting among the gawkers, clearly trying not to be spotted by you. Shoot bluff for his insolence. Nod to Solomon. It's time to teach this gathering a lesson. I have thought of a better entertainment. Forget the execution. Whoever brings me the fool will receive the honor of kissing the Celestial Lord's signet. You need not hide yourself so carefully. I'm not one to punish a born fool. I'm just going to let Solomon do his thing. Let's get this city back on track with the Imperial Creed. Solomon, I think, is perfectly placed to do that. It's time to teach this gathering a lesson. Without uttering a word, the arbitrator draws his weapon. A shot rings out, and a deafening shriek rises from the throng of people. You catch sight of the badly wounded fool disappearing into the crowd. So, Bluff the Fool took 17 damage. I feel sorry for Maeve if that's her brother that we're just repeatedly attacking. Maeve cries in horror and immediately claps her mouth with both hands, trying to lock her voice inside. I don't know, execute this one already so we can be done for today, or enough deaths, let him go. We haven't heard of a crime on him. Just that he got a destiny and chose to defy it. Enough deaths, let him go. As Judo opens his mouth to say something, the convict takes a step on his clumsy, spindly legs, and then another one. The face, pretty strong, shining. A gnarled claw points directly at you. Give it here, give it to me, now, instead of the one I bear. Take mine, it's not mine, take it, take it! The madman raises his crooked fingers to his face and sinks his nails into its sagging flesh. Shrieking with what sounds like relief, he tears off a piece of his cheek, then another, and then one more. Falling to his knees, he frantically scratches his own eyes out, smearing blood and clear ichor across his face before collapsing dead on the platform. There was also warpy stuff going on. A sudden rumble draws your attention. Like a rockfall trembling down a slope, the thudding of feet and mad screams overwhelm you. After a moment, you see the source of the commotion. A throng of mutants is charging straight at you. Oh, goodbye, you.
Take a knee and bow before me.
So the question is, why are there so many mutants? Why are there so many mutants in this world? And you guys that are weirdly glowing, what's your deal? So the nobleman we let live has decided to turn on us. Not ideal. Dew of the Scorched is not dead. Are you? I don't know what that symbol on the left means. Maybe that means dead. My guess is he's just injured and unconscious. Alright. Glowing guys, what's your deal? You've got a mutation. This creature's body is covered in blisters and bumps. Its limbs unnaturally transformed. Weapon skill and willpower are increased by 25, but its dodge is reduced by 50. So easy to hit. Thessarian Fever. This creature's flesh sparkles with Thessertium dust, increasing its strength by 25. When this creature dies, the Thessertium transforms its concentrated emotions into warp energy, dealing from 25 to 30 warp damage to all non-mutant targets within a 2-cell radius. Okay, so they're just going to go off like bombs when we kill them. Interesting. Doesn't look like there's any friendlies back there. The mutants have managed to kill everyone past this line. Alright. I guess we'll throw ourselves into cover, such as it is. Half cover up here. You're also a ranged character, I believe. Though with a shotgun, so maybe... I don't know. Put the two of you over there. And then Abelard, send you over here to help on that side. Pascal, probably the same. We'll have ourselves try and take out this side of the group. Alright, so let's go with a front line.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
Backline on us.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Rear on them.
If I may.
Apply some buffs, as usual.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Nothing I can't do. Already done.
Seems we're not in a position to hit multiple of them with a Melta. If we go somewhere here, see what that opens up. We can hit two of them there. I instead moved, say, here. Not quite where I can hit both of you. Seeing how many I can hit. Ideally, I want to hit like 3 of them in a single melta. Feel pretty good. Not quite. Yeah, I don't know. Feels like 2 is going to be the best I pull off. So we'll start with you 2.
Let's see how they respond to this.
Oh, right. Exploding. Kind of forgot about that. Now I remember. Let's go back to Cassia's turn. Have her now use this on us.
I'll show you why navigators are feared.
So now I could go here and then melt to the 2 of you. Make sure I'm not hitting allies, which seems to be the case.
Nothing I can't do.
Probably still gonna have me too close. I'll take the hit. Yep. It happens. If I go back here somewhere, that gets all 3 of you. High momentum again, always great. Let's use that.
Is now.
Oh, I'm out of movement. Right. Run and gun. Let's see what we can do here. That's looking good.
Not a problem for me.
Perfect. I'll use another Rebel and Slaughter, why not?
All too easy. Nothing of value has been lost.
Other lines, can I hit? No. Alright, we'll just do some ignites.
Nothing I can't do.
Oh, you didn't die. Shame.
Already done.
Oh, we've gotten a bit too far into the warp stuff.
Nothing I can't do.
Okay, fight's over. Your Celestial Highness, apologies for my late arrival. I wasted a great deal of time in idle squabbles with that oaf of a treasurer as he was looking for the shipment chronicle. I only heard about the attack after it had already begun, and the elevator might as well not have been moving at all. It was so slow. The treasurer, the elevator. Who are you going to blame next, Governor? Are you the ruler of this world or a casual onlooker? You will take measures immediately to restore order, or I will conclude that you are sabotaging the rogue trader's visit, either by intent or simply due to your own ineptness. The governor babbles in fear. I never thought... He takes a deep breath. The culprits, of course. The culprits will face execution post-haste, my celestial lord. Survey the square. An oppressive silence hangs over the previously bustling plaza. The people are taking in the carnage, clearly avoiding looking at you, but still catching your every word. You notice Maeve standing nearby, gazing around her with horror in her eyes. Find those responsible and bring them to me. The condemned mutants broke loose and attacked the townsfolk. It has been a long, long time since anything like that happened, Your Celestial Highness. They must have sniffed out that today is a special day. The executioner's lip curls, split by a blow during the fight. The commander was responsible for guarding them. He got careless. His armor rattling, one of the knights steps forward. I am Lucra, commander of the fortress. I can attest that the ungodly mutants were restrained properly. It's the Phasmophorius. The smoke whipped the brutes into a frenzy. So it's either the commander or the executioner, is it? Then I shall now make my decision, or strike the governor. If it were not for the tithe, you would be the one facing execution. Yeah, I don't think we have enough information. Everyone's pointing fingers at each other, and we don't really know who's at fault. Clearly, weird stuff is happening on this world. And for that, I'm blaming the governor. Like this guy who had his face that wasn't his face. Their talk of Thessian fever, whatever that means. Something weird is going on. Yeah, I'm just going to strike the governor. He's in charge of this place and their odd rituals and cults. I'm going to lay at his feet. If it were not for the tithe, you would be the one facing execution. The governor staggers back from the blow, barely managing to stay on his feet. A trickle of blood runs down his lip, and he spits out a few rotten teeth onto the stones. Gross. Thank you, Your Celestial Highness. I will never forget the lesson taught to me by the Emperor's own anointed. So is either the commander or the executioner, is it? Then I shall now make my decision. My Celestial Lord, I swear on my life that my knights and I did everything we could to keep you safe. Who could have foreseen that the Phasmophorius, after gorging itself on miscreants, would start driving the mutants mad with its smoke? Lies. The Phasmophorius does not taunt heretics, it fills them with terror. To shift the blame for your own failure onto a sacred weapon of justice is a heinous crime in and of itself. Commander's guilty, Solomon carry out the sentence. The executioner is to blame for what has transpired. Solomon enact the will of justice. Been enough death, I will order no executions. Perhaps your celestial lord would be willing to show mercy if the guilty worms begged at his feet. You know, I've not had my fill of executions for today. It is the Phasmophorius for the both of you. I demand a spectacle. Dude. I mean, definitely the executioner is getting way too into the executions. But is that just because of the beliefs that have been instilled in him in 5 generations of executioners? I don't know. Is this a tool of heresy that creates mutations and he's aware of it, making him guilty? Who knows? We don't have enough details. And I guess the 40k thing would be everyone who's potentially guilty is therefore guilty. But I'm gonna go with the more lenient. There's been enough death, I will order no executions. And hope that we get more information. Because currently we just don't have enough. There's been enough death, I will order no executions. The commander and the executioner stop their bickering and turn their eyes to you in astonishment, then quickly recover, however, and offer you their deepest bows, maintaining a solemn silence. You are our savior today, Your Celestial Highness, and in gratitude, please accept this personalized sword from my treasury. Fatebringer, once decided the outcome of one of our feuds. It killed a rebel leader, and peace has reigned on the planet ever since. 15 to 17 is not amazing, but it's okay. I guess I'd need to compare it to other similar weapons. We don't really have many people that's using two-handed swords, though. There's just Cabela. Despite its ceremonial appearance, the sword is perfectly usable in combat. The blade is polished, and the hilt is encrusted with blue crystals. Village attacks with the sword. Ignore the target's armor. Ooh. So it just passes through armor? Cool. Accept the gift, thank you. Accept the gift, that's all. Some antiquated sword. I expect subsequent gifts to be better. Return the gift. Solomon, make a note of this attempted bribery. I have no need of your gifts, Waldo. I mean, could it be seen as bribery? Maybe. But also, we're a rogue trader. People giving us gifts all the time is normal. So, thank you, Geraldo. The governor bows at your feet. Let's look at Maeve. After putting herself in order, Maeve catches your eye and looks away shyly. Her lips bear a poorly concealed smile of relief. It appears your celebration is over, Governor. Not in the least. I will not let some beasts ruin everything we have worked so hard to prepare. I suggest we distance ourselves from this place and return to our corner of revelry and peace. By your leave, I will be waiting for you at the head table. Oh, God, Emperor, give me strength. Swallowing noisily, the governor hurriedly departs the scene of slaughter. That's weird. It amazes me that idiot just underpaid the tithe and did not somehow lose the whole planet as well. Solomon pauses, pensively watching the governor leave. Fine, a feast it is. I am sick of the stench of burnt meat. Let's try a change of scenery. Her face pale, Maeve raises a hand. My celestial lord, it is only a few steps away. The noble lords are already lifting their glasses in their savior's honor, awaiting your arrival. Shall we proceed? Let's grab these goods that I was trying to get earlier.
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
What a life to own entire stars. Of course. Cupbearer. Dark maroon amasec is pouring out of the ridiculously gaudy fountain. An eager cupbearer hands you a goblet filled to the brim. Have a taste, if you please, my celestial lord. This vintage has been maturing ever since we laid the cornerstone of our citadel. We tapped it to celebrate you. Do you always have amasec flowing from that fountain? By no means. Such frivolous excess would impede us in carrying out our burden of service to the Emperor. It is only on truly great days, such as today, that the fountain pours forth this noble beverage. Besides, even the sturdiest of servants could not work the pump for days on end. The pump? Naturally, my celestial lord, it requires a grueling labor of dozens of sturdy workers to create an upward movement of the liquid in the pipes. It is a most useful contraption. Drink, thank you. Drink, I'm ready to celebrate my glorious self. Drink, your enjoyments and entertainment are impossible to watch in a sober state. Or step away. I prefer to keep my mind clear. We're gonna go with that. I dare not protest. Should you change your mind, I am always at your service. Alright, Plato. Grab that box for me. Thank you. Radiant Shield. Whenever the wielder blocks an attack, the attacker must pass an agility resistance test to become blinded for 1 round. Eight strength bonus plus toughness bonus. Okay, so that's if we used it to shield bash, right? So I could give Abelard a shield. Anyone else using a one-handed weapon? Okay, you've got a shield. How does this compare? You lose the +1 deflection, but it gives the blinding. Yeah, I'll give it to you. Feudal swords, probably not. Hardened shield, probably not. So a bunch of knights up here blocking the way.
None shall stand in my way.
I'm sure we're gonna run into that fool again, since we didn't kill him. Yeah, the fact that we have this AMSEC fountain that's just built into this glowing crystal. Yeah, probably don't want to drink that. Oh, we have more goods here. Right, the lice falling in the meal, gross. Veritable mountain of leftovers under the table. The guests have been tossing scraps onto the floor without thought. Sure.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Okay, so yeah, this is where the governor is. His cybernetic pet. Not number 4. Okay, I think we've already looked all around here. What are you barking at, Glado? Have I missed anything? Sculptor, governor. There is loot over here that we have missed.
It's about time.
Alright. However, I think this is a good place to stop the stream. I doubt we're going to finish this whole planet anytime soon. So before we figure out what horrible things are going to happen at this feast, because that seems to be what happens everywhere we go, let's pause here. Next time we'll pick up, find out, talk to the governor, find out what's going on here, and how many more laws that are being broken, and how incompetent this governor is. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.